Hey YouTube, it's Brittany and I'm back. Okay, so I'm here to do a labor and delivery story. And really, this video is for me. It's going to be a lot of TMI information. So if you don't want to hear anything TMI, you can just like skip to something else. But this is just so I can remember everything correctly, so it can be fresh in my memory. So next time around, if there was a next time around for maybe baby number 2, I can go back to this video and reference how I really felt. So I know my feelings are a little desensitized because it is almost 3 months postpartum now, or 3.5 months postpartum. So it's not fresh in my mind, but I just wanted to get this video out and done so I can just look back at it. So I will be looking down. I have notes to remember. Okay. So I didn't vlog during my pregnancy or anything, so I just want to give you some background information on my pregnancy. Everything was fine. There were no medical complications. Throughout the pregnancy, I gained 55 pounds, which is a lot. But I ate all the time, and I ate anything and everything I wanted to. And please keep in mind, I'm 4'11", so yeah, 55 pounds on me was a lot. I always assumed that he was going to come early because he was always measuring big. So I just had it made up in my mind that even though my doctor said I was due on November 19th, that he was going to come early just because he didn't have room or something like that. So I just had that set made up in my mind. And I really wanted his birthday to be 11, 12, 13 just because I think it's a cool birthday. And like everybody in my family thought that he was going to come early. Nobody thought I was going to make it to my due date. So we had bets going, like everybody had their bet. Everybody got to pick 2 dates and put their money on those dates to see if they were right at when he was going to be born. So yeah, but everybody was wrong. Nobody said that he was going to come on his due date. Like nobody at all. Nobody thought I was going to make it. I was just tired of being pregnant. Like I just wanted my body back. I didn't want to share my body with anybody anymore. I just was tired of being pregnant. But other than that, there were no medical complications. Like I was fine. What else? I tried everything to get him to come early. I drank castor oil. I had spicy food. I did nipple stimulation by using my breast pump. I walked like crazy. Me and Dior were walking everywhere. And then I even had sex. And I didn't really want to, but yeah. Then nothing happened. Nothing did anything. And throughout my checkups, I was only 1 centimeter dilated the whole entire time. There was no progress, nothing. And he wasn't descending down in the birth canal. So he was like at -2, and I was only 1 centimeter. So it looked like he wanted to stay in there for a really long time. But I wasn't having it. I was trying to do something to make him come early, but none of the stuff I was trying was working. So that's the background information before I get to the labor part and delivery. So on November 18th, my last day of work was, I believe, November 13th. I believe. So that was my last day of work, and then after that I was just home. But I could have worked, and I really wanted to work, but yeah. So on November 18th, it was a normal night, just like any other. I'm about to take a shower, and then I start having contractions while I'm in the shower. And at first I'm like, I'm not sure what it is because I never had any contractions before. And even what I maybe thought were Braxton Hicks contractions, they were like nothing major or anything. So I'm like, are these contractions? So it took me a minute to realize that they were contractions. So I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. They didn't hurt or anything. I'm chilling, and I'm like, I know some people who have contractions for days or all day before anything like really happens. So I'm chilling, taking a shower, minding my own business, and then like I actually feel something. I'm like, oh, this kind of hurts a little bit. So I finish my shower, and then I get out the shower, and like I call my husband, like, babe, I'm thinking I'm having contractions, like something's going on. So he comes upstairs, and he was like, how far apart are they? And I'm like, I don't know. So we're up here trying to time how far apart they are to see if this is like false labor or is this serious, because I would hate to go to the hospital, because my hospital from my house is 45 minutes away. So I would hate to go to the hospital and it's not be like real labor or anything. So we're up here trying to Google how close contractions should be. And I couldn't remember whether it was 5 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart, something. So that's what we're doing. So I'm up here chilling, out the shower, putting lotion on, getting dressed and everything. And he's reading the things that make it false labor and everything. And then like I actually started to get pain. Like, so initially my stomach would just tighten. Then I got like crazy back pain, and it felt like a dinosaur drop kicking me in my back. Like, that mess hurt. So yeah, that happened, but it was still bearable. Like, it wasn't crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely hurt. I definitely felt it, and I definitely knew that they were real contractions. And then we timed them, and they ended up being like 2 minutes apart. So I'm like, oh, this is serious, so we got to get moving. So now it's like 12 something. Then my water breaks, and it's not like a big gush like on movies or anything. It's like a drip, trickle, like a leaky faucet. So it's not like a huge gush of water, but it's enough for me to like have a towel so I won't like drip all over the carpet and everything. So our hospital bags are already packed. Your stuff is ready to go. So we call the doctor, and we tell him everything, or tell her everything, and she was like, all right, I'll meet you at the hospital. So we get all our stuff, and the contractions, you can't talk through them. Like, I have to take a minute. Like, don't talk to me, don't bother me. Like, give me a minute, and then I'm fine. Like, I can talk. But I really feel like if my contractions were further apart, it would have been even better. But since my contractions were 2 minutes apart, and they lasted for, I don't know how long. I would be guessing if I set a time right now. But they were 2 minutes apart, so I didn't have that much time to recover between contractions. So if they were like 5 minutes apart, say for like 30 seconds, I would have been like really fine. Because like, while I wasn't having contractions, I was perfect. So that happened. Then we got our stuff, went to my parents' house, called my parents, told them we were on the way because we were dropping off Dior. And by now it is, let me see what time it is. It's like 2 o'clock or so. So, yeah, it's like 2 o'clock. We go to my parents' house, drop Dior off. My parents, they get ready and they go. And I run to the bathroom just to make sure that I don't have to pee or anything. So I have a dress on it. And I'm sitting on a towel in the car. And let me see. So we're on our way to the hospital. It's like 2:30 now or so. And we're going up 50 in random. This car is going the wrong way on Route 50. So if anybody knows 50, like going towards Annapolis, there's really no accidental way you can be on the highway going the wrong way. But this car is coming towards us on the highway. It was crazy. So, yeah, it was really crazy. So we're going to the hospital. We get there. And we didn't do a hospital visit beforehand. So we went to the wrong entrance. So FYI, it's important to do a hospital visit so you know where to park and you know where to go. It saves you some time and some aggravation. But actually, I was really nice to my husband. I wasn't mean. I thought I was going to be mean, cussing him out left, right, and all types of sideways. But I was chilling. I didn't have time to be mean to him because my contractions were so close together. So, yeah, it was fine with him. But we get to the hospital. We go to the wrong entrance. So the nurse or whoever she was, she had to wheel me through the hospital to get to where I was supposed to be. So, yeah. So we get there, check in. And also, it's important to register or check in beforehand at your hospital if possible because it just saves you time. So I'm up here sitting at the little, receptionist desk, registration desk, or whatever it's called. And they're asking me questions. I'm like, I don't know, they could be asking me anything because I'm not really paying attention because I'm like having contractions every 2 minutes at this point. And they were like, okay, we're going to get you to triage to check you and everything, make sure everything's legit and whatever. So by now it is like 3:30 and we're in there And I changed into the hospital gown and everything, and they checked me, and I'm 2 centimeters. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be here forever. Like, I wasn't trying to go to the hospital and be there all day, because I'm like, oh, well, you can't eat. You just gotta sit there and eat ice chips. I thought that was the dumbest thing. So I'm blown. I'm only 2 centimeters dilated at this point, and it's 3:30 in the morning. So what else happened? So my parents parked the car and everything. I'm in there. They run some blood work real quick, and then I'm getting prepped to get a epidural. So it takes 2 hours or so for them to get me from triage to the epidural. So they get the blood work, check my vitals, check everything. Everything's looking good. I get to the delivery room where I'm actually going to deliver. And it was cute. It was nice to give you like a hotel type feel. They had like a little sofa in there and everything. And then my parents came and we were chilling. Now let's rephrase that. We weren't chilling. They were chilling. I was still feeling like a dinosaur was drop kicking me in my back and like doing a stinky leg on my back or something. It hurt. But I felt like if I was progressing, it was okay. So by the time I got my epidural, they checked me again, and I was already at 8 centimeters. So I got my epidural by like 5:30, and I was at 8 centimeters. What else? Did I miss anything? Yeah, okay, I was at 8 centimeters, and that was like the best drug ever in life. Ever, ever, ever. It was amazing. Like, I was chilling. Like, I didn't know I was having, I could kind of feel something. I'm not going to say I felt pain, but like I kind of knew I was having a contraction. Just maybe a little tiny bit of something. And the monitor was like back, like behind me, so I couldn't see them going on the monitor. So I had to like ask, like, am I having a contraction? Maybe, kind of, sort of. I didn't know. But it was awesome. So from 5:30 to 9, I was resting because the epidural slowed down my contractions and everything dramatically. Because keep in mind, from what time? 3 to like 5:30, I went from 2 centimeters to 8 centimeters that quickly. Then I got my epidural like 5:30, and then it slowed down because I only had 2 more centimeters to go before I got to 10. But it slowed everything down dramatically, so I had to get Pitocin to speed them back up. So now I was resting. I think I actually even took a nap, and I was fine. I was chilling at this point. Then what else happened? So by 9 o'clock, I actually get to 10 centimeters, but he still has not descended down in the birth canal. So he's still up too high to actually come out, even though I'm at 10 centimeters at this point. So the doctor like tilts the bed at this crazy angle to see if the gravity would help him descend down further to where he needed to be. So I did like a practice push around 9:15 or so. Then she had the bed tilted for like 30 minutes. Let's say I did a practice push at 9. She had the bed tilted at the crazy angle for like 30 minutes to see if he would descend down. And then I started actual pushing at 9:30. So I only pushed for maybe a good hour. That's it. And it was done. But the practice push was cool. No problem. And even pushing was fine. Because I couldn't really feel anything at first. But then I could feel it. I couldn't feel the contraction part. I think I felt like the ripping part. Because I had tearing. Like severe tearing. Because he was so big. And I felt like he wasn't down where he was supposed to be. But I was pushing anyway. So, yeah. So I think I felt more the tearing and the ripping more than the contractions. So it was disgusting. It was like blood gushing. The doctor got all wet. It was gross. I couldn't see it, but like I heard it, and I heard like her saying stuff, and it was disgusting. I couldn't see anything though, but I just knew it was disgusting. And my parents are in there, and they're like seeing everything, and that was like traumatizing for them. And Rashad, he didn't really see too much because he was like up by my shoulder and he was like holding my leg, helping me to push. And I had another nurse, and it was like a bunch of people in and out the room. Like, I didn't care. But while I was pushing, his heart rate would drop like after the contraction. So he was getting stressed. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And they were like, if you don't do this, then you're going to have a C-section because his heart rate is dropping after the contractions and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get cut at this point. And that was like my worst fear, to like go through labor and everything and then still have to have a C-section. Yeah, that's for the birds. So I get to the point where I'm like, I can't have a C-section. I have to do this. So I'm pushing, and this is where it hurts the most. So like that last 30, 45 minutes, it hurt the most. So honestly, if I have to go back in time, if I had to do it all over again, if I could take off that last 30 to 45 minutes, I would be good. Like, everything else was bearable, but that last 45 minutes hurt the most. So, what else? Yeah, so at 10:23 a.m. on November 19th, he came out. So he was 8 pounds, 13 ounces, 20.5 inches long. Yeah, so I was just crying. I don't know why I was crying. I felt like it was the drugs. I wasn't really emotional myself. I felt like more of a relief that it was all over. So I was crying, and then I didn't hear him cry because I couldn't see anything because the blanket and the doctor and everything. I couldn't really see anything beyond that point because I'm still at this crazy angle. And I didn't hear him crying. So I'm crying, and the doctor's still trying to like clean me up, and she got to stitch me up and everything. And I'm like, why isn't he not crying? And then I hear him cry, and his blood sugar was low. So they had to give him some formula. So they gave him like an ounce of formula to boost his blood sugar. And then they brought him over so I could see him. And yeah, and while they're cleaning him up and while the doctor is like stitching me up, my mom's over here. So Rashad went to cut the cord and everything. And I'm crying because I'm relieved. I'm crying, I think, because the drugs made me emotional. And I'm crying also because those stitches hurt. Like, I could feel it. Like, I could feel her stitching me up. And that mess hurt. So, what else? I think that sums up everything. Then I had to get cleaned up and change my gown and everything because it was like a bloody mess. And then I stayed in the delivery room for a little bit, long enough for me to eat and everything. I got Chick-fil-A and cheesecake. It was awesome. And yeah, what else? Oh, also, during the labor process, I could have soda. I could have ginger ale. So it wasn't as bad as I thought, because I thought I could only have dumb ice chips and nothing else, but I could have ginger ale. So honestly, I was chilling with the epidural. Maybe if I like would have bounced it up a bit, pushed a button a couple times to boost it up, I would have been great. So yeah, it was really, really traumatizing to my parents. They were stressed out. My mom up there talking about, oh, I had to go home and take 2 leave. I was like sore. I'm like, what? Why were you sore? What were you doing? You were just sitting there. But everybody started sending pictures and everything, and everybody was doing the congratulations and everything, and he was a big baby. So everybody, that's all I kept hearing. He was a big baby. He's a big baby. Because he was 8 pounds, 13 ounces. Oh, yeah. And then my doctor talking about, oh, yeah, I would have had a C-section. Oh, great. You're my doctor, and you're telling me that you would have had a C-section? Okay. What else? Anything else exciting? I think that's about it. That sums up everything. But I am going to do like a 1-month review and that's going to be coming up after this video. I just didn't want to cram it all together with too much information. But that was my labor and delivery story. And the whole time I was nice to my husband. I did curse one time or so, that last 30 minutes, and I'm like, I cursed, but then at the same time, I'm like, dang, I've never cursed in front of my parents before, because they were in the room, but that mess hurt. So I did honestly think about it, like, during. I'm like, oh my gosh, my parents heard me curse. But also, oh my gosh, my parents are seeing my vagina get ripped open. So, whatever. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer anything. But, alright. Love, love, love. Talk to you guys later. Bye.